morning, good afternoon, good day to all of you North American exporters. Thank you so much for taking the time from your busy day to join us today to talk about trade shows, getting trade show ready. We really appreciate it. We realize you've all had a lot of webinars and Zoom calls over the last couple of years. We're going to keep this really short. We promised under 30 minutes, and we will keep it like under 30 minutes. Doesn't stop you from asking questions. Please do drop questions into the Q&A or the chat box, and we will be responding. If we don't have time, we will respond to you directly through email. Again, thank you all very much for attending, and we are going to get started. While the last of you log on, let's just do some introductions. How about that? So just to introduce first as a company, IBT Online. We are a US company and have a Canadian subsidiary as well. We are dedicated and focused on online tools. That's websites and online marketing, and particularly for small and mid-cap companies. So we're absolutely focused on small and mid-cap companies and business development online tools. We are very proud as well to have developed something called the Online Global Programs. These are specifically dedicated for website build, website design, e-commerce enablement, and online marketing for you. And we've partnered with many U.S. states as well as some Canadian provinces to offer the global programs with many times grants that are associated with those global programs. As I said, IBT Online is a U.S. and a Canadian company, Canadian subsidiary. We've been around since 2002 and have a lot of resources for you on our website. If you want to find some of those, please do help yourselves and go on our website to check out the resources which are free of charge for you. Today's webinar is going to be I'm joined by our online video manager, Ava Mitzi, who's going to be joining me to talk particularly about the role of video, but also the pre-preparation and the after show of a trade show. Joelle unfortunately can't make it today, but sends you all her best. And I'm sure many of you also know Joelle from who is our senior online marketing manager. So I'm going to be taking some of her role as well. My name is Susanna Hardy, and I'm Chief Content Officer at IBT Online. As I said, we've got a tight agenda. We try to make it as action-packed, as full as we can of good content for you to try and make this a really, really worthwhile half hour to talk about trade shows. So we divide it up into sort of like three parts: the pre-show, the preparation for the trade show, the event itself, and what we feel you need to be doing during that event, and then the post-event following up. For that. So, those three components that make up the entire trade show experience for you. So just sort of kicking right in, I wanted to talk first a little bit about our world, just very briefly, the online world. And that has really been pushed forward by the pandemic as well. It was a growing trend, but it got an extra sort of turbocharge in the last couple of years. It really feels as though it's here to stay, however. And I just wanted to sort of say, from our point of view, the world is online, and that's why we feel it is worthwhile looking at online tools for your trade shows as well. So just some quick stats here, if you like. I mean, the world population is something like 7.5 billion people, of which 5 billion, over 65%, are online. And the average time spent online per person per day is 7 hours. 7 hours a day, 5 billion people are online. And of that 5 billion, 4.2 billion are using social media. If you are a small mid-cap company, this is good news for you. You know where your prospects are, and you know how to reach them. You can, they're online, no matter where they are in the world, they're online, and you can reach them using the different types of social media and online marketing tools that are available for you. And that's why we think even if the world is coming out of pandemic and face-to-face trade shows are starting to happen again, Nevertheless, we need to incorporate these online business development tools into your everyday practices and into especially your trade show events. And looking at these trade show events, I mean, we sort of say, why digital at trade show? I think that shows it. But trade shows now have even changed. There's the in-person event, there's the totally online event, and there's the hybrid. And again, this does not seem to be going away since COVID has lifted. These hybrid events and the virtual events to some extent are continuing. Now, throughout this webinar, we've designed it so that all of the strategies we're talking about are good for and fit for purpose for all three types of trade show that you have. So, whether it's an in-person, a hybrid, or a virtual. They do differ quite a bit. And but nevertheless, just because a virtual show is online doesn't mean it doesn't need investment as well. And I'll show you some imagery of that. Talking about investment and why these are important, why our trade shows are so important. The average company spends over $10,000 per trade show. It's the average spend. And if it's a large international show, it can certainly go to $20,000 remarkably easily. And these large shows, whether it's Farnborough Air Show, Arab Health, Medica, all these, the Frankfurt, the Motor Show, all of these shows are huge meeting places, which are now coming back strongly across the world. There are three countries that really dominate. They make up 60% of these huge trade shows, and that's the USA, Germany, and China. The single largest trade show hall is actually in Germany, and Germany hosts, out of the top 10 trade shows in terms of volume, it hosts 6. So it's the big one there. China is the second largest, and Shanghai is the second largest trade show in terms of event space, and holds. And if you look at the top 20, they also held the last about 5. However, China, after the strict lockdown they've had, isn't really coming back into the trade show world anymore at the moment. Watch and see that space. And then, of course, the United States, headed up by Las Vegas, as we all know. So, a couple of stats to keep in your mind that we already talked about. 5 billion people on the earth, 7 hours a day online. And secondly, between $10,000 and $20,000 per trade show event. Therefore, it's really necessary to optimize and make sure these trade shows are working for you and have the digital tool in your pocket. The point about trade shows really is that these events they really drive the buyer's life cycle. If you consider that someone is becoming aware of an issue, of a problem they have, they're beginning to look around a consideration phase, they're beginning to look at what kind of solutions could there be, then they evaluate the solution that you might have leading up to purchase. Those are all also condensed in a trade show. You can go from awareness to purchase within a very short time period in the trade show. But each one of those key moments in a buyer's life cycle are hit in a trade show. Again, whether it's a virtual, hybrid, or in-person trade show for that. So digital strategies really are the ones that we want to talk about today, and how we think that they might help you with that, to create more opportunities to connect with those prospective buyers and with your existing customers or existing distributors as well, making sure that trade show event is absolutely key for you. So most I think it's something like 28% of companies in the US, exhibitors, start planning their trade show something like 1 to 2 months before the trade show. We think that that's cutting it a little bit fine, but we would prefer that sort of 2 months, certainly that 2 months, the 6 to 8 week level in terms of preparation for the show. But we'll talk more about that during the rest of the webinar. But right from the start, that the online tools are a component of that preparation. Let's talk now about the pre-show. Ava, maybe you could talk us through what the pre-show means, the pre-show preparation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Susanna, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you everyone for joining us. So in the pre-show, the lead up to the event is a crucial time to set your company up for success, to really maximize your opportunities at the event. This is the time to implement a targeted marketing strategy and create bespoke content that will help you thrive and ensure a positive return on investment for the trade event. Exhibitors that leverage digital strategies and solutions will be able to present their brand and products in a more compelling way, network effectively, and nurture those leads. And as with any successful marketing strategy, you need to identify your platforms, your target buyer personas, and set your goals. So remember that these key elements must always align with your overall business strategy. And because we've done many webinars on those things already, let's just assume that you've set yourself up for success and you know your buyer personas, you know your target platforms, and you know you've set your measurable goals. So the three most important digital strategies to really lean upon here are: number one, your website; number two, social media; and number three are videos. So number one, your website, which is your best sales rep, is a curated showcase of your products and your services operating 24/7 for you. So you shouldn't miss out on the opportunity to revamp and update your site well ahead of the event. And this is crucial, as any leads that you will be making should be able to find you easily, navigate your site easily, and get a feel for your brand and products even before the event. Your website should have a variety of content that addresses the question or concern that your identified buyer persona is seeking. A blog, for example, on your website would be a great asset for establishing your brand reputation and recognition within the industry. A blog, for example, discussing your attendance and engagement with the upcoming event is also great for SEO purposes, so that they can begin to find you ahead of the event. Linking this blog to the actual event taking place and giving your buyer persona the opportunity to connect and link up at the time. So take the time to go through your site, update your SEO, add relevant content pertaining to the event, as well as situating your brand in the context of your industry. And these are all key for your website performance in the pre-show phase. Number two is social media. As per every marketing channel, social media requires a structured approach to ensure that you're always reaching the right people with the right message at the right time. When your objective is to maximize ROI for the upcoming event, social media is really the moment to begin your engagement with the event and with the attendees. And it's a fantastic and informal manner to create connections and get noticed ahead of the event. When deciding what content to create, your objective is to leverage the upcoming event to your advantage. And this includes creating content that is relevant, on topic, tagging the event in your posts, connecting with other attendees via the chat that are linked to the event, promoting your attendance, etc., etc. This, for example, is a client of ours, and the client wanted to attract more leads in Latin America, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. So we built them 3 localized websites for these regions, and then we continued to support them with online marketing campaigns. We gave Pettibone, in this case, a social media lift when there are important upcoming trade shows and events in the region. So our marketing team tailors the social media posts to the trade shows, increasing the customer's confidence and setting them up for success when they actually attend the event in a few weeks. As you can see from these posts, we encourage the viewer to connect, learn more, all in an effort to create the first touch point prior to the event, which will ensure a better return on investment at the event itself. But we do not do this haphazardly. The key to creating fantastic and relevant content is to plan ahead. We create specific content calendars leading up to the trade show to ensure that the content is appropriate, on message, on brand, and delivered at the right time, all ramping up and building the interest for the actual event. So for your event in particular, we recommend designing and launching your content calendar 4 to 6 weeks ahead of the event, and then continuing for the 4 to 6 weeks afterwards. This will help you map out what content you need and when. Creating a content calendar is the best way to achieve your reach, and you will ensure you are delivering your messages in a coherent and structured manner. To maximize your ROI and ensure the biggest reach possible, we also recommend a combination of organic and paid. The one boosts the other. And for example, Facebook campaigns running both organically and promoted will work in symbiosis to help you build your brand awareness, share your insights, and promote your attendance at the upcoming event. Finally, in the last strategy for your pre-show phase, leverage the power of videos. Make sure to include videos in your content calendar. As social media is interactive and dynamic, your videos are the perfect digital asset to really leverage this opportunity. And the types of videos you can create pre-event include videos that share knowledge on key topics or themes relevant to the event, videos announcing your participation at the event, and offering opportunities to meet up, and even bespoke videos to specific attendees that you are super excited to meet. The pre-event phase is the best opportunity to make informal, dynamic videos that capture attention, that spread awareness about your brand and products, and promote your appearance at the upcoming event.
Ava, thank you so much. Thank you. I know we said we wouldn't have questions at all, but there's one that's just come through. I think that's really interesting. I just want to sort of bring it in, if that's all right. I'll put you on the spot for a second here. Okay, the question is basically, well, the attendee is saying, I'm not great on videos, not quite sure how to do it. If you have to do one tip for your video, what would it be?
My one tip for making lots of videos is, first of all, don't be afraid and just be brave enough to make them. Go right ahead. Everyone today enjoys informal videos, and it's clearly a trend that just keeps on growing. And secondly, try and do it horizontally. Always use your phone and do it horizontally as opposed to vertically, because that will fit for a larger amount of platforms. I'm talking LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Horizontally is the way. So those are my tips.
Thanks very much, Ava. Okay, practical tip of the day, hold your phone this way. Right, before we talk about the event itself, I'd also just like to launch a quick poll just to ask you all, where you are on, I mean, I'm sure we know the answer to this, but is your company, are you already doing trade shows? Are you all off doing trade shows already? Are you, I put domestic there because it's either US or Canada. Are you out there doing trade shows domestically, internationally? Not yet. It's first of all, big shout out and thank you. You guys are really on the button. You're all clicking away very quickly there. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Just to give you a little bit of feedback, roughly not quite half of you are doing trade shows domestically and internationally. About a third are doing only domestically this year, but a significant 25%. No, not yet. Not yet on the trade show side. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. And okay, let's just close that poll and get you back and start talking about the event itself and sort of the trade show event itself. So, one of the first things I think alluded to also by Ava in terms of social media strategy is your trade show goals. It's no good spending this kind of money if you don't have absolutely clear metrics, which are achievable. They don't have to be sort of out of the world, but they're achievable and they are realizable and fit your overall business objectives as well. So some of the key things that they find from our clients' point of view, the three things that they keep talking about for trade shows is they want to have a lasting impression. In other words, they want to build long-term brand awareness at their trade shows. The second is to enlarge their network, enlarge their database, enlarge their CRM, capture more leads, capture more prospects into their CRM. And the third is to turn those leads along the buyer's journey, to shift them from, hi, you've only just met me, to we actually have a connection and you're on that buyer's journey. So those are the three things that we hear again and again from our clients. In terms of the event strategy, we would say during the event itself, we would really look to have these three keys. So Ava talked about three in pre-event strategy. which is your website, your social media, and video. Guess what? Here are the same three, only slightly different in how they're. And one of the first is this very specific, a bespoke landing page. And this is something which we would really encourage you to have a good look at. It's a dedicated page on your website. And if you are, if you're attending the same trade show every year, you could actually make it into a part of your website, that you just keep up there the whole time. Otherwise, it's a dedicated page for the event. That allows you to use that page as a springboard for all the social media, all the videos, all the events, all the planning, all the news that you want. It's in one place. You could easily direct your leads, easily direct your prospects to it. Within your company, people know where to get the information. So you start off with that dedicated page of the landing page, and that's during the event. It's in the pre-up to, it's created before the event, but it is absolutely the one that's nurtured during the event as well. So having it really, it's an absolute priority for us in terms of the lead nurturing and the content that is correct for that event. In terms of social media, it's really up to the people also attending the event. And sometimes the people attending the event are not necessarily experienced marketeers or content creators. And I think that was reflected in the question of, well, how do I do this? What do I do for videos? How do I do it? I'm not brave enough to do that. But it's up to the people attending the event to actually be a content creator and to make sure that there are a good steady flow of relevant content coming on during the event. And that can be everything from, you setting up the booth and arriving to saying, this is how you find us, because this is a really big trade show. We're all the way over here and walking your way through it. You can, at the event itself, you're posting content that's relevant to the event. So your posts include photos, live streaming of demos, or keynote speakers that you're attending, and conferences that you're attending. Perhaps launches of new products that you're showing off and showcasing at the trade show. All of that gets put on that social media funnel. So it really also helps establish the authority, the corporate authority at that trade show, bringing in more leads. And by highlighting your involvement with the trade show, just demonstrating that credibility and expertise in the industry as well. For that. And I think it's important to know as well, there's, clients these days, prospects these days, they don't always want to talk to a salesman, first of all. And secondly, if they're, with the online world the way it is, being so dominant the way it is now, people want to get information how they want it, when they want it. So a big takeaway as well on your media strategy when you're in the event is to be omni-channel. We talked about videos. How about QR codes? Put your QR code on that. So if prospect walks by your booth, and he says, oh, these people are busy. Anyway, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to look first at the website. Put a QR code there for your landing page, and then they can discover that landing page. They can understand the event. They can see when you're available. Maybe book a meeting even. That you'll have on your landing page on your website. So again, use QR codes, use videos, use in person, have a great booth. Allow people to discover you and connect with you in the ways that they want to, when they want to. So definitely omni-channel, allowing the client or the prospect to engage with you on their terms. Video, Ava's talked about video a bit before, using video to boost social engagement, helping nurture your leads throughout that buyer's journey and things. On the day of the trade show itself, make sure you've got a brand video at your booth, as well as the client testimonial videos. Tell your brand story in an efficient manner. Videos are now a part of everyday social media and everyday online experience. It's a way of speaking without even having words there. This is obviously very much the case with virtual trade shows. On the right-hand side of this, you've got You've got a screenshot of a virtual trade show that we did for ourselves. We did in Florida with our own booth. And this is just an indication of how much goes into a virtual booth. There are 3 videos going on simultaneously during this event, just rolling on, for people to engage with at a virtual trade show. So these things are not light at all. Some of those I just wanted to highlight as well. Some of the must-have videos that we would champion as well. Those big videos that sit on your website, like the mission statements, things like that. Client testimonials and action brand videos. However, trade shows are fantastic places to get more client testimonials and to get an action brand video. These can be short. They're shot with your iPhone, and they're very direct and engaging. So do use them as well on your social media video. Again, just some examples of videos from that can be in the background, and these are like loops that can play in the background as your booth goes on. No words needed. So even if you're busy, someone passing by engages the attention on your stand as well. And again, just 2 examples of some of these videos that just play in a loop. One is of a machine fabricator, and the other is an agricultural company. So finally, just on the event itself, go live. Do it live. Do live videos. These are, remember also, even if it's online, even if it's a virtual trade show, these are nonetheless people that you're engaging with. Your prospects are as a person, so they want to be treated as a person as well and be as personable as possible. So it's really worthwhile just saying, hey, this is me, and this is a personal demonstration of our booth here. Come and join us. So don't be afraid to go live during the trade show. And live video is an excellent way of reaching that broader audience. Even just having a presentation, a demo, a live streaming, a Q&A opportunity, all those things can be brought to your attendance. With that, then I'm going to turn over to Ava for some post-event wisdom and strategies.
Absolutely. So in your post-event strategy, the last 3 most important digital strategies that we're going to focus on today are: number 1, leveraging your CRM or your customer relations management tool. Number 2, leveraging email marketing. And number 3 is leveraging your content generated from the event. And once again, these strategies, we picked them just because they apply to all the trade shows, whether physical, virtual, or hybrid. They really are the best for any whichever you're going to. Let's talk about leveraging your CRM. Leveraging your CRM for your prospect to client funnel and ensuring long-term client success. Now that you've connected with lots of leads at the event, it is time to upload these new contacts and segment them into your CRM database. The more detailed information that can be added about each lead into your CRM database, the better, as it will make your follow-up strategy more effective and your sales team more successful. So for example, segment your leads according to the stage of where they are in their buyer's journey. Include perhaps notes about what was discussed, whether orders were taken, for example. And according to how many people are in your sales team, it might also be helpful to segment your leads into geographical regions. Segmenting your leads this way will better allow you to determine the next steps for each lead and meet that prospect where they're at. The really hot leads, for example, should receive a call pretty much immediately from the sales team to chase that opportunity presented at the show. And the other leads will be nurtured thanks to your email marketing, which we will go into now. So how to create a bespoke email marketing campaign. This will keep the conversation going and nurture your leads until they are ready to buy. We recommend creating 3 bespoke emails before fully integrating them into your larger spoke email campaign. When creating your emails, keep in mind that your copy should be relevant, personalized, consistent, and provide quality content. Email 1 should include a thank you for visiting the booth. Personalize this with a photo or even better, a video of your booth to remind them who you are. Email 2 should consider what types of challenges the prospect is facing and how your services can help them solve those challenges. And this email should include relevant resources, share knowledge, and a clear call to action. The third email should be the beginning of the weekly or the monthly email sent to them to keep your company top of mind for when the need arises for your product or your service. And these emails should continue to provide quality content with clear call to actions, such as visiting your website, scheduling a demo, downloading content, etc., etc. Finally, the last digital asset to leverage in your post-event strategy is the valuable content generated from the actual event. This includes presentations you made, live streams recorded, Q&As, blogs, etc. You can turn all of these valuable assets into long-term shareable content that sits on your website and your social media accounts. This content includes articles, for example, summarizing the events, spectators and demonstrations that took place at the show, highlights of what your company was up to at the event, your key announcements, or your contributions. This kind of content is also perfect to include to your wider audience, providing insight to prospects and customers who are unable to attend the event. It really is the perfect way to reinforce to your maybe even existing client base, yes, I'm out there, I'm speaking for my industry. It reinforces your role and reputation within your industry. We have a top tip here, which is what you learned from the conference or the trade show should help drive your future content and your strategy planning. The trade shows you attend, whether physical, virtual, or hybrid, help your company anticipate the future trends and better navigate the future trading challenges. This includes key concerns for the upcoming year. What are your leads' objectives? How are your leads looking to grow and evolve? The best return on investment from your trade show attendance includes a much better visualization of what this next year will bring and what your prospects will expect.
Ava, thanks so much. Let me just launch another poll before we round up with our takeaways and conclusions. But I'd love to ask you all, what about your own company? Are you using online tools for remote trade show attendance? Are you, those of you who are attending and have been attending trade shows, especially, have you got your social media, your videos, your websites all lined up? Are you doing so, systematically? Are you doing it everywhere? It's really interesting. The vast majority of you are saying we could do better. But I'm also glad to hear that. We hope that we can help you along that road for that. But thank you all so much for replying. Okay, just sort of rounding up, I mentioned in the beginning that we have these online global programs. They're there, they are often associated with grants that we've sort of knit the program together with to help SMEs, small and mid-sized companies, get their websites and online marketing up to speed. There's a lot of benefits to them, and I'm not going to read this out because it's so long, but I think the key takeaway is all of those benefits are really about your top line growth, and that's what a trade show is about as well. So your trade show is about getting your brand awareness, identifying new prospects, turning prospects into clients, and that's what websites and that's what online marketing does as well. So we are very closely associated with and well versed in the trade show area as well. So and these online global programs, as I said, do have quite a lot of history and experience behind them. So just before we leave you, just a final poll, because we want to try and keep a little bit to our schedule. If anyone wants to learn more about the online global programs and the grants that are associated with it, let us know. We can send you some things online. We can point you in the direction of some online resources, or we'll give you a call, depending on what you'd like for that, and we'd be happy to reach out. And again, you know, for trade shows in particular, now that we are getting back into the whole trade show sort of sphere, we really think as an investment, these trade shows are expensive. You need to leverage them, and now more than ever, the online tools available are there for you to really drive the investment and return on investment from these trade shows. Again, thank you all. Well, I've left this close up. I'll close out that poll. Sorry about that. Left that rather long. But thank you all for doing that. So, you know, get in touch as well if you want to learn more. We've got quite a few questions in the chat box. We will be responding to you by email for that. We've kept it not quite 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Thank you all for your time. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you both online and at the trade shows. Stay in touch. Thanks all for your time, everyone. And thank you very much, Ava, for all those insights. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.